Hello and welcome to session 10. I am glad you're here. Alright, mic check seems to be doing okay. If you have any issues hearing me, I'd appreciate it if you dropped a note in the chat. And let's see where we go today with our group of adventurers. How does everybody feel about naming adventuring groups? I feel like that is kind of a thing in some of the older editions. I'm not sure, but I've never had a group name themselves before in all the years I've played any kind of tabletop role-playing game. Never had like a we're the such and such adventuring party. Anyway, like, follow, subscribe on your way in. Give us a comment. Just any old comment will do. It all helps those ridiculous algorithms. Alright, let's begin with a little bit of world building. Let's see here. Just gonna tune that up just a bit. Alright. World building, my friends. Let's see here. So we're gonna continue on our Solodark stuff. Just gonna put this to the side. And let's go ahead and pop over to our character notes. Let's go ahead and generate the NPC enemy from Carousing for Farond. I'm interested to see what that looks like. Eventually this might all, this all will kind of play into each other. This just gives us more tools. Let's see what happens. Alright, so age is a D8. Who did he make an enemy of? It says an adolescent, which is interesting. I'll go with it for now. I'm not entirely certain how a grown man will make an enemy of an adolescent. Maybe somebody in the Thieves Guild. Who knows? Let's find out ancestry. 6 makes it an elf, an adolescent elf. That might make more sense if the growing process is a little bit slower or something. Maybe an adolescent elf is 20 years old or something like that. Elves would consider it an adolescent. I'm not sure. We'll see. Let's take a look at alignment. We got a 4, which is a neutral. Just put a little N there for neutral. And then wealth level is a 3, so standard wealth level. Wealth level. Hopefully we'll remember what WL means 2 months from now. Who knows? Let's see. Let's go ahead and do a characteristic as well. We want to see what kind of word kind of explains or describes this creature or this person. Boorish. Boorish. Interesting. Maybe just hangs out and talks about a niche thing all the time. His one thing that he's kind of hyper fixated on at the moment. And unfortunately, well, we got the names and syllables. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. A couple of D20s here. The names and syllables on the Game Master screen is not separated out by essentially ancestry. It's only a series of prefixes, syllables, and suffixes. So let's see what we come up with. I got a 3 and a 4. So a 3 is Seer and a 4 is Zar. Seerzar. Seerzar. Interesting. Let's see if it gives us anything else. It technically has 4 columns on it. Let's take a look and see if it gives us anything interesting. I got an 18 and a 19. Seerzar, Genorg, or Ren. Seerzar, Rennie. We'll just stick with Seerzar. That's our enemy from carousing. We can, if we would like, see about a random class as well. So let's go ahead and do a d4. Let's hope it's not a spellcaster. A 3 makes it another thief. All right, so there's our world building. We have our NPC enemy. I'm gonna put a little title here. Name equals. Et voila. I speak French. All right, session 10 is where we're at now. Absolutely phenomenal. When I started this little thing, I wasn't sure that I'd ever get to, like, I shouldn't say that. I should say I wasn't sure how far I would get. And it's been a lot of fun. So if you're considering anything like this, recording your own solo sessions, kind of recommend it. It'll be a nice historical record for me in the future. And yeah, hopefully some of you guys like it enough out there to give me some thumbs up and follows and subscribes. Who knows? We'll find out. All right. Now, where to begin? All right, so our heroes, or actually, session 10 is on page 15. Make sure you note that on your index. And we'll get started. All right. Session 10, our heroes have just discovered this kind of deserty terrain hex. And it contains the town of Lastwatch, which is pretty cool. Now, will our heroes, technically they spent the night here and then they traveled over here. Our heroes don't necessarily have to stick around for Lastwatch, but this is interesting. So I think what they'll actually do is head back to Rularn. But first things first, we do need to decide how dangerous the desert terrain is and how dangerous Lastwatch is. So we are going to go ahead and go to our trusty index, and we are looking for overland hex maps and settlement maps right next to each other. Probably worth highlighting these because I'm using these a lot. So just taking like a little highlighter and being like, boop, boop, you're using this. Don't be afraid to write in your books unless you're trying to do something heirloom with your role-playing game books. I don't think it matters. Writing in the book is fun, can be. I'll show you examples of that as we grow, but let's see here. Overland 132. All right, so we already have the point of interest. We're not concerned with that at all. Let's go ahead and do danger level. A 6. So this is a deadly region. Interesting. This is a deadly region. So we know that. And then on our settlement type, or we already got types, let's get an alignment on the settlement. Lastwatch is a town. And I don't think our heroes are going to enter, but it is a lawful settlement. Sediment. Dummy. All right. So it is lawful by nature. And if we... Let's see, risky. Interesting. Okay. So we got that kind of idea. Our heroes, it takes about 4 hours to get from the middle of one hex to the middle of the next hex. So they have 2 hours that they'll have to roll for random encounters. No random encounter for the first hour. No random encounter for the second. Because this is deadly, we're rolling once every round. go ahead and flip our cards over to deadly. Don't make me tap the sign. All right, let's see here. Okay, so they kind of got this idea. Maybe our heroes go up and investigate. Let's see, they map the area. They don't have a ton of interest in going into the town just yet. They feel like things have been a little bit risky, so they are going to head back to Rularn. Now, Rularn itself, we're going to flip back over to our little settlement notes. Let's see. We also know that the grasslands is deadly, so it's going to take us 4 hours to get from the desert and into Rularn. So that's going to be 4 checks to see if there's any random encounters. 2 in the desert. We got a desert encounter immediately. Let's see what we got so far. So back here, desert is on page 152. Let's go ahead and roll a D percentile to see what we're looking at here. I got a 46. A Bone Naga slithers over the sand, leaving a curving trail. Bone Naga. Yikes. Let's go ahead and take a look at what monster that looks like. Okay, it looks like it's not going to be in Bone Naga. It's probably going to be in Nagas. So Naga. Whoops. Naga Bone. It's a level 6 creature. Our heroes are going to consider it. And I think what our heroes will do is we're going to have to see if we successfully playing in the dark over here. We're going to have to see if we can successfully spot it before we encounter it, because we definitely don't want to do anything like that. Its intelligence is a -3, so I don't think it's a little bit dumb, basically. Interesting. Mindless skeletal husks reanimated by sorcery. Alright, so do our heroes spot it? Our wisdom, collective wisdom for spotting, is pretty dismal. So we'll go ahead and roll that. It'll be a normal difficulty, I think, as we're kind of going over these sand dunes. And so we'll move some dice out of the way. Make a roll. Ooh, a 2. Ooh, I don't know if I want my heroes to fight a Naga. I think we'll try to spend a luck token on that. I'll have to get those out because I forget they exist every single time until I absolutely need them. One of these days, I may just try playing without luck tokens. That might be fun. Kind of capture the a more old school or original feel, maybe. Alright. We're going to spend our Namco token. And we'll re-roll this at a +0. And we got a 12. Alright, so our heroes do indeed spot it. And they're going to go ahead and attempt to hide. To kind of let the Naga pass by. Alright, let's do a stealth check. I have 2 thieves, so I'll just apply 1 roll at advantage. We'll see how we do. I think it's kind of a dexterity check, probably. Dexterity is basically, on average, a +0 across the board. So I'll just roll at advantage with no bonus. because I'm playing the whole group, I don't want to kind of get into the minutia of rolling a stealth check every single character. So I'll just do kind of the average. And I got a 19 for the high. So my characters hide, and we'll see if this guy can spot us. He has a wisdom +0. So unless he rolls a 19 or 20, that's a 10% chance. I don't know. We'll see. He got a 20. Oh boy. Okay. So our characters hide. And they think that they've done themselves so proud, and the Bone Naga slithers towards them, so they have to prepare to fight. Now, one of the things I'm interested in is my cleric, Dendor the dwarf. He has turn undead, so he's going to get prepared for that. And I think that this will just be, what would you call it? Let's do a starting distance for this random encounter, right? And that's a d6. All right, so it is close. So we see it last minute. We dive into cover, but it spots us anyways. So we're going to go ahead and keep this page kind of handy. I want to look at turn undead, which on my character sheet, I marked the page reference. If you have enough space, you could probably do like shorthand notes. I just marked a page reference because I enjoy flipping through books. So, page 72. Turn undead. You rebuke the goodness gracious. You rebuke undead creatures, forcing them to flee. You must present a holy symbol to cast this spell. Undead creatures within near of you must make a charisma check versus your spellcasting check. If a creature fails by 10 plus points and is equal to or less than your level, it is destroyed. Otherwise, it flees from you for 5 rounds. All right. So, seeing that this thing spots them, let's go ahead and roll initiative. I'm just going to go a simplified initiative of a d6. The purple one will be my heroes. Red one will be the villain. And higher is better. All right, the villain goes first, so he moves in, and he will attack one of my heroes. So we will go 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll roll randomly. He got a 4, so he'll attack Dendor, which doesn't bode well. So it has 2 bites at a +5. Yikes. All right, and it's a 2d6 points of damage. This could be bad for our heroes, everybody. Let's find out. All right. So Dendor has an AC of 13, so we're hoping for very low. A 5. Yes, the first bite misses. Now let's go for the second bite. Ooh, a 14. That is a hit against his AC of 13, and with his +2 bonus, easily a hit. 9 points of damage to Dendor. Goodness. Dendor's not looking so great. And this is particularly bad for our heroes, because Dendor's the only one that can really hurt the creature. Alright, so Dendor will go ahead and make his spellcasting check versus the Naga's charisma check, which is +4. Goodness. Alright, so Dendor rolled a 1. We're going to go ahead and spend a luck token. We're trying to beat a 15, basically. And Dendor, it is a wisdom, so it's a -1 for spellcasting for him. Wow. This could be bad, folks. This could be bad. Alright, -1. Let's see how we do. Another natural 1. Goodness, this is just not going to work. All right, our thief. So Dendor tries to use his holy symbol. Doesn't work out. Tyr, he doesn't have anything useful, so what can he do? He's going to... this is where it kind of comes to thinking out of the box. Let's go ahead and we'll go to Tyr in a minute. I want to keep things moving along. Let's do Sidaros, spellcasting level 1. He's going to cast Magic Missile on the creature. Cool rulebook 65. Advantage on this check. A glowing bolt deals 1d4 damage, so. Oh, double 18s, not bad. So that is a hit against our creature for 1d4 damage. Very light on the damage here. 4 damage, got max damage, that's excellent. How many hit points does it have? 31, goodness. So he's down to 27 hit points. Wow, amazing. And Farond will get behind him and backstab him, basically. He'll maneuver around and take out his dagger. It's a +0, but what can we do? What can we do? So we'll go ahead and attack. 14 +0 against the AC of 13. That's a hit. So it's going to be 3d4 damage for his backstab attack, and because the dagger is magical, it does do max damage, or it does damage the creature. So that's 1. +3 is 4. +3, 7. So this creature goes down to 20 hit points. Now, Farond is unsure of what to do, so he doesn't have a lot, but he does have an iron spike. So I'm wondering, and you guys can talk about it in chat. I'd be interested to get your thoughts on this, but I'm thinking he's going to try to drive this iron spike into this tail. So the Naga is like, you know, whipping its snake-like tail around, doing these attacks. Is maybe like got some flesh like hanging onto it, maybe just enough to drive this iron spike into the ground, perhaps. So he's going to attempt to pin it to the ground, maybe. Or, alternatively, because, reanimated by sorcery, fire is a question as well. And Tyr will actually run over to Farond and grab that healing potion from him. So he's going to move, grab the healing potion. This is going to be important for our good friend Dendor. Alright, let's go ahead and write a page number for the Bone Naga so that we can find it as we flip back and forth with things. And we can actually take a little scratch paper, throw it in there, and now we roll initiative again, because we're doing the modified rules from Solodark. One of the things it recommends is Chaos Mode. Reroll initiative at the start of every combat round. So, initiative, purple is me, and we won initiative. That's perfect. So, Sidaros, Tyr will yell at Sidaros, like, don't worry about, at Dendor. And he'll say, don't worry about healing, I got your back with, and he holds up the healing potion. Fantastic. And we're going to put this back in a initiative order. And actually, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Tyr will run forward, and he'll apply the healing potion to Dendor. Let's see what our magic potion does. Potion of healing. Potion of healing. Scrolls and wands. Potions. What does a potion of healing do anyway? Alright, let's roll a d4 and see what kind of healing potion this is. We're hoping that we don't roll a 1. We got a 2, so it heals 2d6 points of damage. Tyr will apply that. Double ones. Goodness gracious. Okay, so Dendor heals 2 points of damage, so he's up to 5 whopping hit points. Dendor will... What does protection from evil do? Page 68. Maybe this is what will help us. Maybe this is what saves us. Chaotic beings have disadvantage on attack rolls and hostile creatures and hostile spellcasting checks against the target. These beings also can't possess, compel, or beguile it. Interesting. Alright, so Dendor will attempt to cast protection from evil on himself, and he'll try to take the brunt of the attacks, I think. So let's go ahead and make our spellcasting check. 10, and his wisdom's -1. That's not going to be enough, so we're going to have to spend a token. We really don't want to lose this spell, so we'll grab our lucky orange d20, and we get a 19. That's better. So protection from evil on Dendor. Alright, so that is going to be Tyr's and Dendor's turn. Sidaros is going to do Magic Missile once again, and maybe he'll move back a little bit. So he'll move away from the creature, because Magic Missile has a range of far. So he casts Magic Missile. Roll with advantage. We got 17, so we definitely cast the spell. Give our d4 roll 3 points of damage. So the creature's down to 17. Fantastic. Alright, so that's Sidaros. Now Farond is still behind him. The creature hasn't really like whipped around yet. So Farond is going to go ahead and attack with his backstabbery. That might be a bit too kind on my part, but this creature is pretty scary. We got a 2. We're going to go ahead and spend our last token to try to do something. Alright, so 14 -1 is 13, which is his AC. So that is enough to hit. We're out of luck tokens, folks. So we got 1 plus 2 more weapon dice. 2 and a 3. So we deal another 5 points of damage to this guy. So he's down to 12 damage, and it's the Bone Naga's turn. So he will either attack Dendor or Farond. We're not totally certain yet. We're going to erase Farond's healing potion. Just like so. Alright, so the creature. We're going to say that there's a 1 in 4 chance it will turn to attack Farond. And we will roll the dice. Alright, so he'll go ahead and attack Dendor. He's going to roll at disadvantage. He's got an 8. And I think that's actually going to be pretty close to his armor class. Attack is +5. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Dendor's armor class is 13. Even with disadvantage, the creature hits with the first bite and will miss with the second bite. So let's go ahead and roll 2d6 damage. Alright, Dendor drops to 0. And he has Dendor. Constitution. 5 rounds. To get him under control, or to prevent him from dying. Alright, and initiative once again. Our players go first. So Tyr can't really do much of anything, so he's going to run forward and attempt to stabilize Dendor. On a hard difficulty with wisdom, I believe, so mine +0. He gets oh, I rolled 2. That's my bad. He doesn't get advantage on that roll. A 16, that's just enough, so Dendor is stabilized. Stable. All right. Now that Dendor can't do anything because he's unconscious. So Sidaros will cast Magic Missile once again. He gets a 12. Intelligence is +0, so that is just enough to cast the spell and not lose it. And he deals 1 point of damage. 1 point of damage puts him at 11 damage. And Farond is going to go ahead and try to stab the creature. I don't think he'll get backstabbed this time because Sidaros is dead. 14 is enough to hit, even with his -1. For 3 points of damage. Alright, so the creature is at 8 hit points. It's going to turn and attempt to attack Farond. It does not have disadvantage against him. He rolls a 14 that easily hits and drops Farond. Farond is at 0 hit points. Now he has a constitution of -2. So he has 2 rounds. And we roll initiative again. We go again, just barely. And Tyr will run forward and grab the magic knife from Farond, and he will attack the creature. An 18 is a hit. Farond has a -1. So 1 point of damage yet again. And our buddy Sidaros will cast Magic Missile. He's got a 15. That's enough to hit. For 4 points of damage, this creature is down to 3 hit points. Farond has 1 round until he is dead. So the creature goes. It will go ahead and attack Tyr. Oh. I shouldn't have used that dice. I'm going to use this dice. No, I rolled a 17. We're not going to fudge any rolls. This is going to be disastrous to run into this Bone Naga. Apparently we should have ran. So, Farond's down. Tyr. We get 2d6 points of damage against him. Tyr is down. And Tyr falls. He's at 0. Really our only hope. He's got 4 minus or +1. So 5 rounds. Farond is dead, essentially, because Sidaros, no matter what happens, he's got to blast him. So Sidaros moves away again and blasts with his magic missile. Let's hope for a natural 20. A 14 is going to be good enough to hit. Now we need a 3 or a 4 to make this go. A 4. The Bone Naga dies. Sidaros kills the Bone Naga. Dendor stable. Farond permanently dies. Goodbye, Farond. All right. So, Sidaros will run forward. He can tell that Dendor is stabilized. Tyr needs some stabilization. So he's going to do a hard wisdom check. Wisdom is not a strong suit, so we'll see how this goes. A 3. All right, so Tyr's down to 3. We're going to try again. Ooh, that was almost a natural 20. Why am I using this dice? My orange one likes me way more. We got 2 more rounds to try to stabilize. A 6. And a 7. Tyr falls. And he is dead as well. Alright, so Sidaros will check to see if the Bone Naga had any treasure on him. There's a 50% chance. Ooh, we got an 86, so there's a treasure in there. Or I guess it depends on how you look at the percentage. 86 is generally considered better on the charts. So maybe we need to make a decision. High or low? What do you guys think in the chat? High or low? If there's a 50% chance of something, should the low be good or should the high be good? That 86, we're going to ask the Oracle, should high be good for percentages? I feel like low is going to be easier to read. Let's go with low. So the Bone Naga does not have anything. So from a 1 to a 50 would have been treasure. There's no treasure here. Alright, so Sidaros considers Dendor, and he's going to go ahead and make camp so that Dendor can heal, come back to full hit points. That's the interesting thing with Shadowdark. Very 5e similar or adjacent. You rest, and I think you essentially get everything back, pretty much. Let's go ahead and investigate that a little bit further. As our last thing here, resting, page 86. A character who successfully rests gains all lost hit points and recovers any stat damage. Nice. Alright, so Dendor wakes up. They bury the bodies of our heroes, Tyr and Farond, and they grab Farond's magical dagger because that's important. And they'll have to do some recruiting in town for this kind of thing. I'll be right back. 1 second. Sorry about the delay. Had to take care of a cat real fast. Those cats, you know? Okay, so they bury the bodies of our companions. And they'll continue on their journey back to Rularn with heavy hearts. Now, unfortunately, that is still 3 hours away. So, random encounter, no. No. And no. So they get back to Rularn. They go ahead and take the map back to Brick, their rich benefactor. And they will get paid, essentially. And they'll also get paid from the circlet that they were carrying. So the circlet was worth 20 gold. They get 40 gold. That's worth 1 XP. And then if we recall, let's see here. Go back to our session notes. I believe we get some pretty significant treasure here. They're hard out to map and artifact finding. They get 30 to 80 gold per hex and double the value for an artifact. So 30 to 80, let's see, 8, 7, 6, 5. So that's kind of like a 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So that's a D6. So we get a 5. Interesting. So 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 gold pieces per hex. And they did a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes. So they get 70 times 5 gold pieces, plus the 40 from the artifact. We'll go ahead and erase the artifact. And they actually have this old cracked mirror. They will also sell that to him for 16 total gold pieces. So 16 GP. We'll just kind of pull that off. Cracked mirror is gone now. And Sidaros and Dendor will get a grand total of 5, 6, 7 experience points. Not bad. So Sidaros is at 18 XP. And Dendor, 5, 6, 7. He's at 12 XP. All right, and they will go ahead and head back to their home that they're operating out of in the slums. They kind of go through some of Tyr's and Farond's belongings, and they will go ahead and donate those, whatever's useful, to the poor. And they'll fill up on their rations. They each need 2 rations, so, you know, a couple of gold, or actually probably just 1 gold, really. It's close enough. And let's see, minus 1 gold. 25, 30, 35. So that's going to be 350 gold. Plus the 40, that's 390. Plus the 16, that's 406 gold. Minus the, we'll call it 2 for rations. 404 gold pieces separated out between the 2 of them. So that's going to be 202 gold. All right, that's not bad at all. I think that they will likely do some carousing in the memory of Tyr and Farond. And they're going to have to hire some people. I think we're going to need a fighter, to be honest. We're going to have to see if we can find a fighter for our heroes. But we do already have a priest NPC that we can grab. We have a thief NPC that we can grab from Farond's background. But let's go ahead and do some carousing here. We don't want to spend, well, we could probably spend a decent chunk of gold, to be honest, on the carousing, because that's going to be more important than trying to get, you know, trying to buy in like new equipment or something. So carousing is on page 92. Now we have a +1 at 100 gold pieces. Let's see here. All right, so to level up, we need at least 2 experience points. So Sidaros will level up to level 3 for sure. Dendor will likely not level up during this carousing. So we'll go ahead and spend maybe the 100 gold. So we'll grab 50 from each. I don't really want to do the 300 gold. But what are they going to do with all this gold that they're sitting on anyway? You know what I mean? So maybe we just do the 300 gold and they will have 50 basically to that they'll have amongst themselves essentially. So they will each have 25 plus 2, so 27 for this guy. And he had a 17 plus 25, 17, 18, 19, 22 plus 2 is 42 gold. And we'll roll our carousing check here. And this will give us a +2, and it'll take 2 days. So 2 days carousing. And they'll get a +2 bonus on their D8. Let's see what we got. Dendor got a 3. +2 is a 5. Oh, they're barred from a tavern and fined 10%. So he gets 3 experience points. So he's at 15. Hopefully he'll level up next session. And Dendor is barred from a tavern and loses 10% of his gold. So he'll move 3. So he's got 24 gold. And under notes, Dendar is barred from a tavern. We can roll on that later. So that takes care of him. Sidaros. Let's see what we got here. Let's hope for an 8. I want to get some good experience points. 7. Not bad. +2 is 9. By talent or trickery, you beat a rival crawler in a test of skill. Oh, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. That's pretty awesome. You are number 3 in my group, so I appreciate you being here. All right, let's see here. So we got a 7 plus 2 is 9. By talent or trickery, we beat a rival crawler in a test of skill. So that gains 5 experience points, which is great because Sidaros only needed 2 to level up. So that brings his total up to 3, and he will be level 3. Pretty fantastic. I'll go ahead and erase that so it looks a little bit better. 3. Level 3 is excellent, and let's find out talent or trickery. What do we think Sidaros did? Sidaros is kind of a jerk. I'm leaning toward trickery, but let's see what the dice say. So 1 through 50 is talent, and then the bottom half 50 is trickery. We got a 65. This was 65. So of course Sidaros uses trickery. And that, I'm going to say, grants us an NPC enemy. So we'll set Sidaros aside. We'll move over to our Heroes tab. Sidaros. NPC enemy. And just like the Bard Tavern, we'll roll on that on our world building section of the next session. But for now, I'm interested in Sidaros. He gets 4 hit points. So he gets 3 hit points total. So he just doubled his score. One of the best things that he could have asked for. So he actually has 6 HP now, which is amazing. And let's go ahead and flip to the wizard. Let's see. Oh, first thing. He gets his first, second tier spell. Nice. And we'll go ahead and roll on a wizard talent. Let's hope he gets something good. A 5 +2 to intelligence or +1 wizard spellcasting checks? It's a good question. Sidaros's intelligence is 10, so with a +2, he will get a +1 on his intelligence check for spellcasting, which is good. Or we can just skip right to the spellcasting. I don't know. What do you guys think in chat? I'm leaning toward intelligence because I think that does the same thing. Let's see. Let's double check on spellcasting on page 44. Once again, we're just trying to learn the rulebook a little bit more in this solo session. So, yep, to cast a wizard spell, it's a 1d20 plus your intelligence modifier. So either way we slice it, it's going to be a +1 to spellcasting. So I'm going to go ahead and increase his intelligence to a 12. There we go. That means his spellcasting check is +2. And let's go ahead and roll on his spells known. Let's see here. Let's go over to our handy index. The index is actually pretty good in this book. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see here. Wizards spell list, page 52. Let's go ahead and check that. All right, and we get a tier 2 list. Just to have a fun time with randomizing, there are 12 here. I'm going to roll a d12. A 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He gets the knock spell. And we'll go ahead and write tier 2 spells. Knock. Which should be pretty fantastic. And that does it for leveling up Sidaros, actually. They send off their 2 dead heroes, their 2 dead allies, and they party, and then they will come, they'll search the taverns and see if they can find anybody to add to their party. But for the time being, I think that ends this session. I appreciate you for being here. I'm glad you're here. You can check me out on all of the socials, YouTube, all that stuff. I'm just out here having fun. So, thanks again, Mr. Big, for following. And I will see you next time, hopefully tomorrow morning. Have a good day and good luck out there.